Hi, I'm Veronica and welcome to Jersey City Pilates. Today's class is the March MATness class, so we are pretty much following the classical mat formula, and if you're not familiar with March MATness, it's a hashtag on Instagram where every day people post a different Pilates exercise throughout the whole month of March. I will be giving modifications throughout this class, so take those if you need them, but I will be doing additional modifications for myself. You're welcome to follow those as well, but those are not the modifications that I'll necessarily be cueing. So I hope you enjoy something a little different. So to start, you can just come to lay on your backs. I have something under, dog food under my mat. Come to lay on your back. Have your feet planted on the floor. And just reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Take a nice big inhale. Reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then exhale. Let them fall down to your mat. And then one more time, reach up. And then release. Take a nice big inhale. Feel your ribs expand wide to the sides. And then draw your rib cage in towards each other. And then bring your right leg up into tabletop. And bring your left leg up to meet it. Take a breath in, press down through your hands, lift your head, neck, and shoulders up so you're in the tabletop position. You can always lower your legs down onto the ground, and then you're gonna stay lifted and start to pump and inhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. And inhale for 5 counts, and exhale. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. And in. And if you'd like to straighten your legs, so that you're in the full hundreds position, by all means go for it. The higher your legs are towards the ceiling, the more protected your back is. Inhale and exhale. Relax your shoulders, keep your neck nice and long, chin off your chest. 2 more, inhale and exhale, and inhale and exhale. Pause. Reach forward a little bit more and then roll all the way back down. Bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a little hug. And then extend your legs long on the mat. Reach your hands up overhead. Press your arms towards your legs. Once they pass your shoulders, curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. Reach your fingertips towards your toes. Curl your ribs towards your hips. And then round forward over your legs. Keeping your spine rounded, you're gonna peel yourself down 1 vertebrae at a time. You can always bring your hands behind your thighs to get yourself up and down, and then lay all the way back down on the floor. Reach the hands up overhead. And then again, press down through the hands, curl the head, neck, and shoulders up. Reach through the fingertips, bring the ribs towards the hips, round yourself up 1 vertebrae at a time, and then round over your legs. Rounding back, feeling the front of your hips opening. Legs can be bent. They're gonna move with you as you roll back, and then roll all the way back down. Arms reach overhead. Get a nice stretch. Feel your back ribs press into the floor. Bring your hands forward, and then curl your head up. Slide your ribs toward your hips, and round forward over your legs. Last time, rounding down, giving yourself that space in the front of your hips. Feel your sacrum hit. And then your back, lowering your head down on the floor. Bring your hands by your sides. And then you're gonna bring your right leg into tabletop and then your left leg to meet it. You have 2 options. We're gonna do the rollover. So you can either do this with bent legs or straight legs, or you can modify this to make it just a very tiny motion. So the full motion is you're gonna have your legs straight or bent. You're gonna lower them away from you towards the floor just a few inches, and then bring them back over. Let the weight of your legs start to peel your hips off the floor 1 vertebrae at a time. Your legs are gonna reach overhead towards the wall behind you. Your shoulder blades are still on the floor. And then slowly peel yourself all the way back down 1 vertebrae at a time until your legs come to 90, and then release them just slightly away. And if you're modifying, you're just bringing your knees in towards your chest, ribs towards your hips, and peeling your low back off the mat just 1 inch with control, keeping your collarbone nice and wide. If you're doing the tiny ones with me, we're just gonna do 3 more. If not, you're gonna do 1 or 2 more of the full rollover. Making sure your head is flat on the mat, your gaze stays at your legs. Once more like this. And then plant your left leg down wherever you are, and then leave your right leg up. Extend your right leg towards the ceiling. Let your whole upper body relax onto the floor. Press your arms into the floor. Find that space in the front of your collarbone. Cross your right leg over your midline. Lower it down, up, around, and pause at the top. And then circle around, down and up, pause. And then again. Keeping your hips nice and square on the mat. Make sure you're not tipping in and out of your neutral and scoop here. 2 more in this direction. Ribs are nice and heavy, staying drawn in towards one another. Last one in this direction, pause, and then reverse. For 8, 7. You can keep a slight bend in that knee. You can be all the way bent. Whatever works, just make sure that that movement is initiating from the top of your leg, where your leg meets your femur, rather than the ankle or the foot. 2 more. And last one. And then bend your right leg down, lower it towards the floor, plant it on the ground, and the left leg will lift now. Same thing, starting across the midline, down, around, and up, and pause. I'm gonna do this on my forearms here, but the motion is no different. If you are worried your abs won't get to work enough, you can bring your hands behind your head and lift them up. 2 more. Looking for stability here, and to the left, out, around, up, and pause. 7, 6, 4 more. 3, 2. Last one. Grab on behind the thighs and rock yourself up to stick towards the front of your mat. Make sure you have plenty of space behind you. You're gonna grab on either behind the thighs or onto the shins near your ankles, whichever is more comfortable for you. You're gonna start sitting up nice and tall, and then you're gonna find that space in the front of your body, the front of the hips. Feel the heels draw toward your butt, and then find that space where you can just balance with your feet off the ground, rounded spine. Take a nice big inhale, relax your shoulders, exhale, and let yourself roll all the way back to your shoulders, and then pop back up and pause at the top. And then again, round back, just to the shoulders. Your neck doesn't hit the ground, neither does your head. Pause at the top. Use your breath and the engagement of your abdominals, drawing your ribs together, hips towards your ribs to help get you up. We're gonna do 3 more rolling like a ball, just like that. Making sure that you're pausing at the top and then pop back up. 2. And last one, pause at the top. And then you're going to grab onto your right leg, extend your left leg, and then gently, with control, roll yourself back into your lifted torso position, holding onto that right leg, left leg's extended, and then bring the knee in and switch. Single leg stretch here, alternating from one side to the other. If this is too much, drop your head. You can always come to your forearms and just do the leg motion. We're gonna do 4 more to each side. 3, 2. Last one. Bring both knees in. Extend the legs, extend the arms. Circle the arms around, grab the legs. Arms and legs extend. Higher towards the ceiling is going to give you more control. 5 more. If circling the arms around doesn't work, you're just gonna straighten the arms overhead and then bring them to your knees. Again, you can also do this on your forearms. We're gonna do 4 more. 3, resisting the legs as you come back in, almost like you're doing feet and straps. Breathing. Last one. And then grab on behind the knees and rock yourself up to sit tall. Here you can have your legs outstretched in front of you, or if you need to cross your legs to sit up a little bit taller, just cross your legs. That's what I'm gonna do. And find that place where your ribs are stacked directly on top of your hips. And then your neck is nice and long, and your head is on top of your spine. From there, extend the arms out long. Reach forward with the fingertips, just like we did to start class. Feel your shoulder blades spread across your back. And then retract them, but only so much that they stay flat on your back. They're not trying to wrap around your spine. You're not winging in the back. And then from here, keeping the arms connected to the back, you're gonna round forward like you're going over a beach ball. Rounding and stretching through the spine, and then stack your spine back up one vertebrae at a time. Take a nice big inhale at the top. And then exhale, reach forward. Your ribs come towards your hips, your head drops slightly. You can almost bring your ears in between your elbow, or biceps rather. Not the elbows, unless your neck is super long. Stack your spine back up tall. 2 more. And back up. Last one. And stack your spine all the way up tall. Grab behind the thighs, and you're gonna come back onto your back. Bring your knees in towards your chest, and then just find yourself in a tiny little ball. You can grab onto your knees if you want, and gently rock back and forth from one side to the other before we move on. So we're gonna do corkscrew, and the full corkscrew has your legs long. You're gonna reach the legs away, bring them up around to the left, lift the hips slightly, lower them down, do a little half circle, and bring them up and around to the right. So you have a couple options. You can do the full thing, or you can do the same thing but with bent knees. Your other option is straight legs or bent knees. You're just gonna lower the legs away a little and then bring them towards your left shoulder. Just let the weight transfer happen in your hips, and then come back to the center. And then up and over to the right. Exhaling, making sure that your abdominals are descending towards the floor, not pressing into your thighs as you bring the knees in. And to the right. And take your time with this. And again, you can make it more fluid. And up and over. We're gonna do 3 more to each side. This is sort of a combo of rollover and a little massage on your sacrum. Once more to each side. And to the right. And then grab on behind the thighs and rock yourself back up to sit tall again. This time we're gonna do saw. So if you are sitting with long legs, have them at a slight V. If you're sitting cross-legged, just bring the opposite leg in front than you normally do. Bring your arms out to the side. And then you're gonna twist and rotate towards the left, reaching through the crown of your head. And then you're gonna lift the back pinky up and then reach forward with the fingers on the right hand as though you're reaching to saw off the pinky toe if your leg is extended, but imagine if it's not. And then stack your spine back up like you're being pulled from the left hand, untwist that arm, and then straighten yourself back out to center. Twist to the right, pinky up on the right side, reach forward like you're gonna saw your pinky toe off on the left, pull back through the right hand, stack your spine up tall, untwist your arm, and then come back to the center. We're gonna do 3 more to each side. To the left, twist and rotate, twist and reach, sit back up tall, untwist the arm, to the center. To the right, twist, left pinky lifts or reach towards the opposite pinky on the toe, untwist the hand, stack your spine up tall, come to the center. 2 more. Think about reaching through the sitting bones as you twist so that opposite side So right now your left sitting bone is reaching towards the ground. Once more to each side. So you're getting that little opposition stretch through the lower and maybe mid back. The left. And then stack your spine all the way up nice and tall. And you're gonna come onto all fours. We're gonna take a little interlude from the classic mat and do some quick cat-cows here. So bring your knees underneath your hips, hands underneath your shoulders, and then just let your abdominals descend towards the floor, but still keeping them supported. Lengthen through the chest, look forward with the head, and then tuck the tailbone under, draw the hips up towards the ribs, round the spine. And then again, coming through into that extension. And around. Really trying to feel each section of your spine moving, or even to exaggerate that and feel each little section of each vertebrae rather, moving inside of each section of your spine. Once more like this. Watch your elbows, you're not hyperextending. And last one. And then extend long. And then you're gonna come onto your stomach into Swan. So we're gonna do two different variations of Swan here. The first one, you're gonna bring your hands right underneath your shoulders. You're gonna press your pubic bone into the floor. Hip bones are squarely pressed into the floor. You can bring your feet a little bit wider than your hips, or you can bring them to mat width. You can even like pretend to hug a mat if you were on a raised mat here. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Draw your ribs in towards one another, ribs towards your hips, your abdominals draw away from the floor, and then you're gonna press into your arms and you're gonna lift yourself up into a little swan. And then you're gonna lower all the way back down, finding length through the crown of your head. And then again, reach through the torso, lengthen up, press through the hands and forearms in the floor, and lengthen all the way back down. 3 more just like this. Reach through the crown of the head, keeping the hips nice and square on the floor. Pelvis is pressing into the mat so that you have that little bit of length in the low back. And lower down. 2 more. Lengthen through the crown of the head as you lift. And then all the way back down. Once more. Lift and pause here. In your extension now, you're gonna try to float those arms off the mat and hover for 3 breaths. Inhaling here with your arms hovering in your little extension for 3. 2 more breaths. Exhale. Last one. And exhale. And then lower yourself all the way back down. Bring your head to one side and shake your hips out in one direction or the other. And then from here, you're gonna reach your palms back or hands back by your side. Lengthen your arms long, palms face up towards the ceiling. You can start with one cheek on the floor or with your head hovering gently above the ground. Either way, lift the arms up, externally rotate through the upper arm, and then reach back through the fingertips. Lift yourself up into that extension. And then lengthen all the way back down, almost until you touch the ground, but you're still staying in that hover, so you're like a little rocket now. And then reach through the hands, lift through the chest. And lower back down. 4 more. Reach through the fingertips, feel the shoulders slide down the back, and lower down. Give your head a little shake, neck is nice and long, just your gaze is what's moving your neck. So you're looking straight ahead, or slightly ahead rather, of your mat, still at the floor. All the way down, 1 more time, reach up. Give your arms a little pull, staying here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Lower everything all the way down. going to stay on our stomachs for 2 more things. So if you'd like to take a pause and take a child's pose, go for it. And if not, just give your hips a shake from one side to the other on the mat. So laying on my stomach is now becoming wildly uncomfortable. So I'm going to do this in all fours, but you will be laying on the ground. Make a little pillow for your forehead. So it's resting on your hands stacked one on top of the other. And then your legs can stay long. You're gonna reach so long through the toes on that right side that the leg just floats up off the ground. Your thigh may still be on the ground. And then you're gonna bend the knee, reach through the kneecap away from you, and give a little pulse, and then extend the leg long. And then lower the leg down. Lift the leg back up, bend through the knee, reach through the knee, thigh is lengthening, squeeze, squeeze, extend the leg, lower down. We're gonna do 2 more like that. Float the leg up, reach through the thigh, bend the knee, pulse, extend, and lower. Last one like this, lift up, pulse, extend, lower down, switching sides. Left leg reach so long through the toes, float the leg up, bend at the knee, pulse, extend the leg, lower it down. And lift, pulse, reach, and lengthen. And the reason I say reach through the thigh is you want to think about finding that length through the front of the leg as the back of the leg is contracting. Last one, lift, pulse, and then lower that leg down. Now we're going to alternate for 4 on each side. So extend the right leg long, float it up, kick, extend, lower down, left side. Extend the leg, float it up, kick, extend, bend it underneath you. 3 more. Extend, kick, extend, bend it in. Left side lifts, pulse, extend, lower down, 2, kick. Extend, bend it back in, or lower down rather. Lift the right leg, last one, pulse, extend, lower down, last to the left, lift, kick, lower all the way down. So now we're gonna do double leg kick. Give your hips a little rock from one side to the other. And this time you're gonna lay with your right cheek on the floor, and you're gonna bring your hands stacked one on top of the other behind your back. You're gonna reach long through the toes so the legs float up. We're gonna do double leg kick. So the same thing we were doing, but both legs together. And then bend the legs in, kick. And now as you extend the legs, reach the fingertips back towards your legs and lift up through the chest. And then you're gonna lower the torso down, bend the arms, bring them back to your low back, and now the left cheek will come to the ground. I'll do one with you. So reach long through the legs, float them up, kick, reach through the arms, lengthen through the torso like the rocket we just did, and then lower the legs, lower the cheek to the opposite side, rest the hands back on your low back. We're gonna do 2 more to each side. So hands are long, or legs are long, bend the knees in, kick, and then extend the legs as you reach to the front of the torso, reach the arms long, lift up, and then lower everything down, bend the knees in. Kick as your opposite cheek comes to the floor, and then reach through the fingertips, lengthen. And then lower everything all the way down, bend the arms in, and then bring them around, and come find a child's pose. Press your hands into the floor, rest your head, feel your sitting bones releasing towards your heels. And then you're gonna come onto your back for scissor and bicycle. So finding yourself on your back, you're gonna start in a nice neutral pelvis, unless it is your low back wants the extra protection, in which case draw your hips in towards your ribs. Ribs are drawing in towards one another. Bring your right leg to tabletop, left leg to meet it, and then bring your hands behind your head. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. Slide your ribs towards your hips, knees over your hips, And then extend the right leg, twist up and over towards the left, and then come back to the center and pause. Excuse me. Up and over to the right. Thinking about keeping the legs at tabletop to start and not letting them come in any closer than tabletop. So that leg is staying totally still while you twist and rotate to the opposite side. Really rotating through the torso, thinking about the armpit reaching towards the leg rather than the elbow. If you can get your shoulder blades off the mat, that's awesome. If you can't, okay. Just try to stay lifted in between the crisscross. 2 more to each side. Again, moving nice and slow. Once more to each side. And then from here, you're gonna keep your torso lifted. You're gonna extend your right leg, bring your left leg in, and then you're gonna lower the right leg down, sweep the floor with your toes, and then bring the other leg in. So you're gonna start a bicycle motion here. Trying to sweep the floor with your toes if that feels good, or make your range of motion smaller if you need. 2 more in this direction. Last one, and then reverse. So reaching away with the right leg. Again, try to sweep the floor if you can, or get nice and close to it. You're opening through the front of that one hip. Breathing as you go. For 3, 2. Last one. Bring the knees into the chest. You can grab on behind the thighs if you'd like, and you're gonna come up to seat. Cross your feet again in front of you we'll go back in a second. Okay, cross your feet, or have your legs extended out in front of you, your choice. Bring your hands behind your head, and think about using your hands to lengthen through the back of the neck. And then find your ribs drawing back towards one another so that you're not arching your back here. You're really keeping your ribs stacked right on top of your hips. And then you're just gonna lengthen through the crown of your head, twist to the left. Just from the rib cage. And then come back to the center. And over to the other side. And then to the center, and to the left. Keeping your legs nice and relaxed so you're not gripping through the hips. Pause here, change the cross of your legs if they're bent in front of you. Again, find that nice positioning. And now you're gonna twist to the right, and then do 2 little pulses. On your exhale, to twist a little farther, back to the center, and then now to the right, twist, pulse, pulse. And then to the center, 2 more to the left, or 2 more to each side rather. Twist, center, twist right, right, center, last one. And to the right. And then grab on behind the thighs, and you're gonna roll all the way back onto your backs. Again, a lot of ups and downs in this class. All right, find the place where your feet are nice and firmly planted into the floor. Find the space across the front of your chest, arms are long, or you can bring your hands straight up towards the ceiling, your choice, whichever you prefer, if you want that little extra challenge or not. Tuck the tailbone under, feel the low back press into the floor as you peel yourself off 1 vertebrae at a time. Heels draw in towards the butt as you peel your spine up into your bridge. And gently peel yourself back down 1 vertebrae at a time, and then release into neutral at the bottom. And then again, tuck the tailbone under, hips draw towards your ribs, press the low back gently into the floor, and then peel yourself up. Reaching again through the front of the thighs, opening up through the hip flexors, reach through the knees, and then peel yourself back down. We're gonna do 2 more. in part because this feels lovely. Neck is nice and long the whole time. Your chin should not be pressing in toward your chest, nor should your gaze be back ahead of you because your spine will follow. Then peel yourself back down, and then release to neutral, and then lift your hips straight up from that neutral pelvis into a bridge, and then tap your glutes down, and then pick yourself right back up. Almost like you're hinging from the thighs. They're like the fulcrum, I guess, or the lever to pull the hips up. 5 more. Reaching through the thighs. Chest is nice and open. 2 more. Make sure you're pressing through your whole foot, right and left side, toes and heel. You're not just putting all your weight in one corner of your foot. And then pause at the top here. Make sure you're in a nice, comfortable height. So lower your hips down if you need. And then we're just gonna do a little marching here. So float the right leg up into tabletop, and then float that leg back down. And then float the left leg up. Trying to minimize that shift or the drop in your hips as you change the weight from the right leg to the left. And if the whole leg lift is too much, you're just gonna lift the heel and lower down. Switch sides, lower down. Either way, you're moving nice and slow with control. Feel free to take those arms up, shoulder blades stay connected with the floor. We're gonna do 3 more to each side. 3, 2. Last one, regardless of which version you're doing. Last one, pause here, tuck the tailbone under, reach the hips up towards the ceiling. If you'd like, bring your arms all the way overhead, let them rest on the floor, and then peel yourself back down 1 vertebrae at a time. Bring the arms back overhead, and you're gonna roll onto your left side now. So come all the way down onto your right side. Sorry, your left side, whatever side you're laying on, who cares? Bring your legs long. You can have them pitched slightly forward in front of you. If you have them in a nice long line, or your whole body is in a nice long line, great. But again, if you need to pitch them forward or bend the bottom leg for stability, by all means do either of those things. Wherever your left leg is, your right leg is gonna reach long directly down from your body. Flex through the foot, use your top hand as support, and then feel that little lift through your side that's touching the ground, just in that you wanna think like you're standing horizontally. So you're engaged through the torso, you're not just relaxed. Shoulder is out of your ear, neck is in line with your spine. Bring the left leg, or top leg rather, forward. Do 2 little kick, and then point the toe and sweep it back at least in line with your hip, if not slightly behind. And then flex the foot, kick forward, hip stay square, sweep it back. You can rid yourself of the point and flex if you don't feel like doing it. If you would like a little extra balance and stability challenge, bring your hand to your hip or straight up towards the ceiling. Kick, and sweep back. Kick, and back. 2 more. Making sure you're not arching your back. And last one. Point and bring it back. Lower that leg down and then come onto your other side. Finding your upper body at least, so from the tailbone up to the head in a nice long line. The legs can be totally long underneath you or slightly in front, or bend that bottom leg, your choice. Left leg reaches long out of your hip. Flex the foot and then hinge at the hip, kick it forward, or kick, and then point and sweep it back. Again, keeping your torso active, so you're not just like a human mush pile on the floor. You want to think of resisting the ground as you're laying here. 5 more. Kick, kick, sweep it back. And one nice thing about pointing and or flexing your toes, both or one or the other, is that you can really make sure that your knee and toe are pointing in the same direction. So you want to be doing this in a neutral leg. You don't want to be internally or externally rotated. Kick, kick, sweep it back. 2 more. And this will come in handy because we will do kicks in a different plane, a different position anyway, in a few. And then lower that leg down and rock onto your backs. Grab on behind the thighs. Press the thighs into the hands into the thighs. Curl the head, neck, and shoulders up. We're going to teaser. Press the thighs into the hands, roll up, extend the legs. Your torso can lift off the floor. Mine is just not doing that today. And extend your legs long. Keep the thighs pressing into the hands are supporting the thighs. Bend the legs and then slowly rock yourself all the way back onto your back. And again, press your thighs into your hands, curl yourself up, start to press the thighs into the hands, and have that be what helps get you up to that balance point. Extend the legs long, bend the knees, and then roll yourself back. One more time, just like this. Press the hands into the thighs, rock up like you would in rolling like a ball, and then extend the legs long, lengthen through the torso, and then extend the legs, or arms rather, long too, if you can. And then from here, lengthen the arms, lengthen the legs, keep them long, curl yourself down, 1 vertebrae at a time, bend the knees into your chest, hands go up towards the ceiling. Now we're gonna do 2 more. You can either choose to do the same version that we did with the hands behind the thighs where you're nice and supported. Your other option is starting from tabletop, pressing the hands into the air as you curl your head, neck, and shoulders up, and then reach through the fingertips, reach through the legs to get yourself up. Use your hands when you need them into your teaser or full teaser. And then lower yourself all the way back down, 1 vertebrae at a time, eyes and toes lengthen at the same rate. If you would like to do a full teaser for this last one, and we'll walk you through it. If not, either of the last 2 versions. Reach the arms up overhead. Toes are reaching long towards the wall in front of you. Press the back ribs into the mat as you lengthen your arms up towards the ceiling. Curl the head, neck, and shoulders up. So you're in a modified hundreds position, just your legs are on the ground. Reach through the fingertips. Feel the hips come up towards the ribs. Press the low back into the floor as you float your legs up off the ground. Reach through the fingertips and the legs as you peel yourself up 1 vertebrae at a time. I'm doing this to the one leg. And then lengthen the chest through your arms. Pause here. Everyone take a nice big inhale. Exhale. Inhale 1 more time. And then as you exhale, lower the eyes and toes at the same rate. And then lengthen all the way down onto the ground. Reach your arms overhead regardless of what you did. Take a nice big stretch. And you're gonna roll over onto your stomachs for swimming. And if you've had enough of being on your stomach, you can join me in all fours. From here, if you're in a prone position, pubic bone and hips pressing into the floor, draw your ribs up towards your hips, ribs in towards one another. Protect your abdominals from the floor so you're not pressing into the ground. Arms are either extended overhead and legs are long, or you're gonna have your arms back by your sides in that rocket position that we were in before. Either way, you're gonna lift your right arm, left leg, lengthen them away from one another towards the walls in opposition so much that they float off the floor, and then lower them back down. And then lift up on the other side, leaving your opposite arm and leg down to start. And then reach and lift. And back down. Reach and lift opposite side. And down. Once more to each side, just like this. Last one to the left hand. Lower all the way down. Now, if you want, you can keep going with that version, or you can come into full swimming, which is where your arms and legs are all gonna lift up off the floor, and then you're just gonna flutter kick arms and legs. And you can do this with your arms back by your sides, or you're gonna continue alternating one side and then the other. And you're gonna go for a total of 4 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Same count as the hundreds breath. Once more. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. And then come back into a child's pose. Give yourself a moment. And then you're going to come into all fours. You can either be on your, we're going to do a plank, so you can either be in your hands or on your forearms, your choice. And you're going to find your nice neutral spine with your torso first, and whatever arm positioning you choose. If you're in a full plank on your hands, have a little bit of softness in your elbow. Feel all the muscles around your shoulder engaged. You want to do a little scat push-up. Feel your shoulder blades across your spine. Reach your right leg back behind you, and then reach your left leg to meet it. Holding your plank here, you're just gonna float the right leg up and then lower it down. Float the left leg up and lower it down. If this is too much, you're doing it on your knees. And left leg floats, and right leg. And left leg. This time, you're gonna lift your right leg, point and shift your weight over your hands, shift it back over your heels, lower the leg. Point, lift the left leg, point your right leg, shift the weight forward, shift the weight back, lower down. One more time to each side. It's the same if you are on your knees or your forearms. Last one to the left, shift the weight, shift it back, lower down, round your spine towards the floor into a child's pose. And then come to kneel perpendicular to your mat. High kneeling to start. You're gonna bring your arms out to a T and then fall over to the right. Let your left leg extend. Flex the foot, sweep it forward, sweep it back and point. Forward and back. Pressing away from the floor with that right hand, reaching up through the left. Just as open here in your side plank. 3 more. Torso is nice and still. Again, your low back isn't moving. Just moving through the front of that hip. Last one. Good, lower that leg down. You can keep your bottom leg where it is or move it out away from underneath your hip just slightly. Or you can come into a full plank here, your choice. You're gonna reach the top arm up overhead, side bend towards the ceiling, lift the hips up. And then you're gonna lower the hips down, lower the arm towards the leg, and then press and lift up. 3 more, lower down, press and lift. And again, you can do this in a full side plank. I like this with my leg on the ground today. Last one. Working through the shoulder on that right side, and then come all the way up. Bring that left knee now underneath you. Arms come out to the side, falling over to the left. Extend the right leg long. Adjust your knee as you need. Hand is underneath your shoulder. Flex through the foot, sweep it forward, and then point to bring it back. For 8, 7. Top leg can lift, or arm rather, can lift towards the ceiling or be on your hip or behind the head. Find that connection in the front of your body between your ribs and your hips. 3, 2. Last one, neck is in line with your spine. Plank that leg down. Reach your top arm overhead, take a nice big stretch, and then lower the hips towards the ground. Lift and reach. Lift and reach. Trying to open up through the right side of your body. 2 more. Last one. And then come all the way up. All right, come towards the front of your mat again. We're gonna do one last rolling exercise to finish. My heart rate is up. Hopefully yours is too. All right, so you have two options. You can either do rolling like a ball like we did before, just like we did before. Or you're gonna bring the soles of your feet together. You're gonna bring your hands inside your inner thighs and outside your calves, and then lift your legs up. You're gonna find that balance position. You're holding on to your ankles or your feet, either one, whatever your flexibility and arm length, I guess, allows. You're gonna roll back, and then when you come forward, you're gonna pause at the top, take a nice big inhale, and clap your feet together 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and then roll back. And then roll forward, and clap your feet. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna do 2 more. Pause at the top. 1, 2, 3. Now this last time, as you roll back, you're gonna pause at the back. 1, 2, 3, and then roll all the way up. Pause at the top. 1, 2, 3. We'll do one more because they're fun. Just make sure you're not resting on your head. Last one. 1, 2, 3. Place the legs down. Come back onto your knees, and then just press yourself up to sand. We have one last thing. Stand at the back of your mat, reach your arms up overhead, and then dive forward over your legs. Have your knees nice and soft, and then walk yourself out into your plank. Stay on your hands, but drop to your knees if you need. Find that length from the crown of your head to your heels, regardless of what position you're in. Tuck your tailbone under. Bend your elbows back by your sides and press up for 8. Exhale up. Making sure you're reducing the pressure in your abdominals with your breath, drawing your ribs together, engaging your transverses abdominals. 3 more. 2. Last one. Curl the toes under if you're on your knees. Reach back into a downward dog. Just bend your knees a whole bunch if you need. Shake your head out. And then walk your hands back by your feet. Keep your knees nice and bent. Ragdoll your head. Make sure your neck is nice and long, nice and relaxed. And then peel yourself up 1 vertebrae at a time. Ribs draw toward your hips. Excuse me. And then peel yourself all the way up 1 vertebrae at a time. Let your rib cage find its spot on top of your hips. Reach the arms up overhead. Externally rotate the arms. Press down, find a little extra space. Knees are soft. Arms are long. Excuse me. Not relaxing, I'm sorry. Take a nice big inhale. Inhale and lower your arms all the way down by your sides. They're probably there already. And you are all finished. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry for all the sneezes.
No problem. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. See you next week.